And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Nightmare Godzilla Earth, if I got that name right. And Nightmare Godzilla Earth asks the question, who would fight? Slenderman, who wants to just give you a Slender Man-like hug, versus the Krampus. Now, I mean, obviously, the image I have of the Krampus right here is from the movie The Krampus. We'll obviously delve a bit more into the lore of the Krampus, admittedly. Okay, so this is a topic of discussion. Apparently, people want to know. Um, so let's start with Slenderman. I've done Slenderman so many times on the channel now. The whole Slenderman obviously originates from the creepypasta lore. Now, what Slenderman is has still never been determined. Is he an alien? Is he a spirit? Is he a demon? Is he some sort of extra dimensional thing? The ideology I've always liked, the concept I've liked the most, is the idea of the human thought experiment or collective thought experiment where enough people believe in something that it actually wills itself into existence, and that is Slenderman. There's a terminology for it, as a matter of fact, and I don't remember it. There's a character in Doom Patrol called the Candlemaker, who's a being that's like it. Candlemaker. Doom Patrol. All right. Where? Not the TV series. I mean, he's terrifying in the TV series. Candlemaker. There we go. Is an extra-dimensional egregore. So egregore, at least in this case, that's what he basically is. Created by unconscious tension in surrounding hysterical crisis moments. Basically, human thought, feeling, and emotions is what basically brought him into a being. And basically that's the similar consensus for Slenderman. Now, what Slenderman can actually do is also not entirely known, like what the limitation of his abilities are, or its abilities are. We assume it's a man, but because it seems to take a male-like form. But we know that Slenderman does have multiple abilities. Slenderman can form tentacles that can grab and attack individuals at will. Slenderman also does seem to have the ability to kind of just teleport and teleport to wherever Slenderman wants to be. Although there is some levels of limitation. It's not just straight teleportation. It does seem to be some sort of psychological aspect to it, which goes really into Slenderman's biggest powers, which seem to be its mental abilities. It seems to immediately instill fear in any normal person. Like this thing is able to just mentally screwed your head to degrees that are like frightening. It can drive you insane. It can basically it could kill you out of straight fear. Honestly, you could give yourself a heart attack out of just straight fear. It seems that Slenderman is capable of causing just insanity, possession. Slenderman's abilities seem to be mostly on the mental playing field. It does still have physical abilities, obviously. It can create tentacles. It seems to be able to teleport. Slenderman's durability, though, is questionable. There is at least in the storytellings of Slenderman, someone actually tried to take a baseball bat to Slenderman at one point, and Slenderman attacked them back, and the guy came back like very badly beaten. But the fact of the matter is, it does seem that Slenderman does have a physical body, otherwise he wouldn't have reacted in such a way, and does possibly seems to be capable of being hurt by normal means. Otherwise, it wouldn't have bothered defending itself. Now, it could have just seen that as an insult to it. Like, how dare you? You're in my way. It could have been like that. Or it could have been like, okay, you came at me. It's like, oh, no. Boom. It's like, no, you're not coming at me. So, Slenderman possesses above average physical human ability, or physicality, but it does seem that Slenderman doesn't possess any strong supernatural durability. If a baseball bat slung by an average man would be enough to cause it to be worried or scared or in pain. So, I mean, but that's all depending on how you want to interpret that situation. Again, it could have been one of those things where it's like, he came at me. No, yeah. Or it could have been like, he's coming at me. No, stop. Like, it could have been self-defense, or it could have been just like the audacity of this creature. It could have been one of either of those. So it all depends how you interpret it. My interpretation seems to be kind of falls in the middle a bit, where it probably wouldn't have really caused any lethal damage if the baseball bat had hit him, but he probably wouldn't have liked it he probably actually would have felt it. Because let's be honest, a baseball bat is a bludgeoning weapon. It's not a bladed weapon. Bladed weapons actually probably would be even worse for Slenderman to go up against. Um, so Slenderman is again one of those things that, because it's a fan-made creation, there's so much lore on it, different lore created by other people, that it's really all up for interpretation when it's all said and done what this character can do. The Krampus is often called the shadow of Saint Nick. He's basically Santa Claus's other half. He is the evil Santa. He, instead of ruining good kids, he punishes bad kids. In the movie, he doesn't just punish the bad kids, he punishes the bad kids' families and all that. Now, we'll look at all sources, so let's look at the movie first. In the movie, Krampus's powers are pretty vast. He was able to pretty much create an eternal blizzard that was able to, drop temperatures to the point where, it would cause frostbite in a normal human, like, within minutes. He manipulate the weather, manipulate time, trap people's souls, basically in the little, oh god, why am I blanking on the name of those things? Snow globes. He wielded chains. He probably wielded them effectively to bind and trap individuals. He had minion helpers, little demonic minions. We still never know what the hell was in the snow. We saw the teddy bear. We saw the angel, which was horrifying. We saw the gingerbread men, but we never saw what was in the snow. So whatever it was, basically the graboid thing that was basically kidnapping people. Saint Nick is the Krampus in that movie is also extremely agile too, capable of running around without much difficulty. You're hopping from rooftop to rooftop. It can also be assumed he does have a degree of physical strength well above that of your average human. In terms of what else, he also had helper elves as well. So of course his elves were a lot more, if you remember the movie Van Helsing and the little helpers of Dracula, yeah, they were kind of like that. But then going into more of the actual lore of Krampus, I mean, Krampus also, Krampus is actually, was known to eat kids and stuff like fillet and kill them. So, Krampus's actual, MO has been, varied over the years. Krampus, though, is basically, the not rival, but other half of Saint Nick in general theology or mythology. Carrying kids in the sack, hoisting them over his body, beating them with reeds, beating them in the sack, burning them. Krampus has the same ability as Saint Nick to be able to travel throughout the world within one night. So most likely Krampus has some ability to distort time to its favor, or control darkness on some level. But being said, though, the Krampus most likely is not a immortal being in the sense that he's immortal in the sense that he's probably ageless and won't die naturally, but you could probably kill the Krampus. So there you go. The question is, these two meet in a fight, who wins? How does that work out? Let's say Slenderman is doing his thing on Christmas. I mean, that's pretty easy, and one of the kids that Krampus wants to punish, Slenderman is targeting, and, Slenderman's about to, do whatever Slenderman does. And Krampus actually comes in and is like, no, this kid's, he doesn't actually talk per se. He's like, it's mine, child's mine. And Slenderman's just looking at him. And these two are looking at each other like, Krampus is like, I'm pretty old. I'm as old as Santa Claus is. This is a new one on me. Just when you think you have seen it all, a faceless tall man in a dapper suit wants to tentacle rape a kid. I hope I don't get flagged for that comment. And so the battle begins, and physically speaking, Krampus I think has the advantage over Slenderman. Tentacles are impressive, but Krampus is, I think, just a larger, more burly individual, generally speaking, in depictions. And with the chains as beck and call, he can just counteract the tentacles best he can, grab into Slenderman, and just start to either beat on him or use his chains to kind of bind him. Slenderman starts screaming, tries to mentally attack Krampus, and that's where the real fight begins. The mental battle between the two of them. Unfortunately for Slenderman, Krampus is far older than Slenderman. Because Slenderman, no matter what, has not existed as long as Krampus has. Even if we go by the idea of how old Slenderman, how old is Slenderman? That's actually a good question. How old is Slenderman? Let's see how old the Slenderman is theorized to be. Slenderman created in June. Well, that's yeah. And how did Slenderman get? What happened to Slenderman? Okay, Slenderman. Identity. So it's not known how old the being known as Slenderman may actually be. But that said, he has shown up in like old photos and things along those lines. However, he's not. He's not like centuries, millennia old or anything like that. Whereas Krampus kind of is. So in terms of age, wariness, and all that, Krampus also deals with like the manipulation of people too. So Krampus is like, bitch, please, and just kind of takes Slenderman and just crushes him or puts him in the sack. And Krampus is also magical too. My guess is he has enough magic to keep Slenderman in check when he needs to keep him in check. The reason ultimately my thought is Krampus wins the fight. The reason for that is, A, he's a far older being than Slenderman is, even in concept. Even in the lore of Slenderman, where Slenderman's existed for a while, no, Krampus and Santa are, at least in the lore where they're both supernatural beings, have existed for far longer than Slenderman has. So he's got the age, the wisdom, and and plus his level of magical power seems to be on a much greater scale than the supernatural abilities of Slenderman. He's able to cause basically an eternal dark winter. He's able to trap people in alternate pocket dimensions and snow globes. He wields vast armies of magical minions. Slenderman's got a few tricks up his sleeve, but comparatively, he doesn't stack up to Krampus on the magical supernatural level either. So ultimately, I gotta go. And physically speaking, these two, Krampus has clearly got to be the more physically able between the two of them. I mean, Slenderman might be stronger than the average human, but Krampus, if we just go by the movie, for example, the movie version of him is like massive. So he clearly has a physical advantage over Slenderman as well. So ultimately, I'd go Krampus in this fight, but that's just my opinion, though. What do you think? Put in the comments below, let me know. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. I'll see you folks next time. I got to pre-record my Lantern Corp video, but for right now, I got to get ready to head out because I'm going to go see Quiet Place Part 2. And then my review for that will be up later tonight. So thanks for watching. See you later.